When I think about business, I think of one shiny, beautiful machine.
Yes,
With
sparkly.
With lots of cogs moving together in unison for the greater good.
Yeah.
I then think things could go wrong, perhaps if we forget that those cogs should be treated as individuals.
Yeah, I mean, in your business, in all businesses, there are departments, aren't there? I mean, you've probably got the finance section, and God bless bean counters, we love them. And then you've got the sales and the marketing, which are, tend to be fairly close, obviously, and the operations and the delivery, whether it's a product or a service. And as you say, Vicky, those independent departments need to be independent.
Yeah.
But if they're all independent and they don't get each other, then they don't work. It really isn't a challenge that is too difficult to understand, but it often is a difficult to do challenge. But today, in the studio, we have an expert with us.
We do.
Yes. He doesn't talk cogs, though.
I don't think he even says the word cog once.
But today we have Robert Craven in the studio. So, join me now, because Robert's going to talk to us about those operational departments, finance, operations, marketing, and how we can put them all together in your business to make it work effectively and financially. Over to you, Robert.
Hello, my name's Robert Craven. I'm Managing Director of the Director Centre, and what I'd like to do today is share with you some pieces around two questions, which is really, how good is your business? Because if you don't know how good your business is, it's really difficult to know how you can make changes, how you can make adjustments to it. And the other question is, if you do know how good your business is, then what on earth are you going to do about it? So just in terms of framing this piece which I'm going to do with you, this is used on an awful lot of times with clients of ours as a starting point. And I think that if I was running a business, if my brother's ran a business, when friends are running a business, it's always a starting point of how good is your business? Where are you now? Because it's this planning piece, which is, where are you now? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? So the first thing we really need to nail is where are you now? Just how good is your business? And why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing it with you for one very, very simple reason. I ran my first business when I was 21. In fact, I was talking to Ben about this earlier on. And the one thing that I discovered really quickly is that we were kind of almost working in the dark. So we didn't know what we were good at and what we were bad at. In fact, it made it really, really difficult for us to make decisions which could help us to grow the business. So this where are you now question for me really changed how I felt and how I saw where things were. It was the starting point. Why is this a good thing for you? Because if you can understand, if you can identify your, they call it strengths and your weaknesses, if you can understand what's good and what's bad about your business, then you know what you need to work on. In terms of what's left, what the afters are, what you're going to get from this session with me, you're going to be able to identify, one, how good is your business? And I'm going to also get you to think about, if that is how good your business is, okay, what do I do to actually make it happen? So whenever I talk to large audiences and I say, so come on everyone, tell me, how good is your business? What are the things you measure? What are the numbers you look at? What are the things you look for? What are the things you try to articulate to tell me how good your business? If I was to walk into your business right now, what are the things that I'd look at to tell me how good your business is? And the things which always come up first and foremost are finance. It's always turnover, it's always profit, it's always money, it's always sales. The really interesting thing is, so one, it's a good one, it's about finance, so I'm absolutely delighted with that. Really good news, people talk about finance, number one. But the thing that really alarms me is how few people actually talk about the one thing which is probably the most important financial of all, which isn't turnover, which isn't profit, which is cash. Because the interesting thing is you can be running a business which is not making a profit, but you've got some cash, you survive. It is illegal to trade without making a profit, but it is actually impossible to trade without making cash. So cash is one of those measures. So we have this whole list of financial measures which people have. And if my friend Paul Barrow is here, Paul's an accountant, he'd be saying, finance is the engine of the business, cash flow is what makes the business go round, finance is the most important thing in the world, and late at night what I like to do is get out a set of accounts and look. Now that is what accountants get joy and pleasure from. And my best friends are accountants, I'm not going to knock them. But this whole thing about finance, your business is not all about finance. So we can think in terms of this being a juggle. So I'll just get these balls. So we talk about finance. Your business is more than finance. So what are the other things which make your business run? What are the other measures? What are the things we need to measure? Well, there are two things which people normally come up with. The first one is marketing. Marketing is why should people bother to buy from me? That's what marketing is. Marketing is all about why should people bother to buy from me. Here is your customer. This is your customer. When your customer has a hurt, need, itch, problem, want, scratch, and they look up and they look to see who can help them, and they look around and they see you and they like the cut of the jib and they like the way they talk and they buy from you, to my mind, that's what marketing is about. Marketing is how good are you at getting the people who want to buy from you to buy from you. Marketing is not about the vanity of how many Facebook likes you've got. Marketing is about how good are you at getting the people you want to buy from you. And just bear that in mind. You need to see marketing through the customer's point of view. So there are as many measures of finance, turnover, profit, cash, gross margin, net margin. There are as many measures of finance as there are of marketing, advertising spend, effectiveness of your selling, customer retention, new accounts won. So we have two balls. We have get the money, get the customers. Get the money, get the customers. Get the money, get the customers. And there's a third ball within this piece, which is the operations, which is how good are you at doing the doing? How good are you at getting the right food to the right table at the right temperature at the right time? How good are you at getting that product to that customer in the way that they actually wanted to receive it? So we have finance, get the money. We have marketing, get the customer. We have operations, do the doing. Operations, do the doing. And it's a juggle. So it goes sell, make, collect, sell, make, collect. And if one ball goes out of control, then all the rest fall apart. Now, I've got a couple of points I want to make really clear about this. So the first one is, and we'll come back to it, you can measure your business performance, scores out of 10, where 10 is a high score, 0 is a low score. Scores out of 10 for your financial performance, 10 is a high score, 0 is a low. Scores out of 10 for your marketing performance, scores out of 10 for your operations performance. But before we do that, I just want to be really clear about what's going on here. Finance is simply a consequence of how good you are at marketing and operations. Everyone talks about finance all the time, the accountants, the consultants, the banks, that's all that people seem to talk about. But let's be clear, your financial performance, how good you are at making money, which is the money that you then spend on your family, which you then spend on going on holiday, your financial performance is simply a consequence of how good you are at getting customers to buy from you, that's marketing, and doing the doing. So if you were rubbish at marketing and you were rubbish at operations, I can tell you your finance would be rubbish. In fact, in that scoring system, your financial score is nearly always an average of your marketing and operations. So big point number one is finance is simply a consequence of how good you are at marketing and operations. It would appear to be that if you want to improve your financial performance, you need to improve your marketing and your operations. And I want to come back to that in a while as well. But finance, let's be under no illusions, finance is not a ball of equal size. Finance is far more like juggling with one of these. Let me just get this for you, okay? Here we go. Finance is far more like juggling with one of these. And the issue about finance is that finance is like a knife. Why? Because one, we become really, really obsessed with it. We're really, really frightened of letting it drop. And secondly, if we get it wrong, we're going to hurt ourselves or other people. And thirdly, when we actually do the juggle, sell, make, collect, let's see what happens. Sell, make, collect, yeah. Every time we drop one of the other balls. So finance is fine. We've got a shoebox full of receipts. We've got till receipts, Z totals, which actually make absolute sense. We've got menus which make absolute sense. And in this case, I kept hold of the marketing ball. We've got reams of customers wanting to come in and see us. We've got reams of customers wanting to buy from us. But the operations is pants. Operations is dreadful. If it was a restaurant, it would be foul food served by foul people. The wine is hot when it should be cold. The cold wine's hot. The food, it would be disastrous. And that is a fail. And if it was the other way, that we dropped the marketing ball but kept the operations, then we'd have the best restaurant in the world with the best people serving the best food, but nobody knows about it. So, finance, the money, marketing, why should people bother to buy from us? How can we get people to buy from us? And operations are the three key measures. Now, I've worked with some 26,000 businesses using this FiMO way of scoring at the start point of the business, where are we now, and also at the end of the year, let's score our performance to date, let's score our performance last year on scores out of 10. So what I'd like to share with you very, very quickly is how people typically score. Typically, people score finance, maybe a 6 out of 10. It's okay, we've got a car, we go on holiday, it's not brilliant. Marketing, most businesses score maybe a 3 or a 4 out of 10. And it's really simple why that is. I mean, just think about all the people you know who run businesses, who are directors of businesses, who run business. How many of those people, when they went to see the careers guide at school, and the careers guide said to them, what do you want to do when you grow up? How many of them said, I want to be in sales and marketing? You don't. We don't go into business to do sales and marketing. We go into business because we're in love with what we do. We love solving computer problems. We love being a video filmer. We love working in a cafe. We're in love with the doing. So as a result, most finance scores are about 6, it's okay. Most marketing scores are 3 or 4. And most operations are 7 or 8, because I'm really, really good at what I do. I'm so good. Now, there's a piece which has been missed out here, which I would just like to explain underpins what's going on. Finance, marketing, operations. Those are the measurables. Those are the cold, hard things which you can measure, you can put into an Excel spreadsheet. But there's an additional piece which I think you can't ignore because it underpins everything about the performance. And that's the people and culture piece. That's who we are, what we do. And when we actually start looking and start measuring how good our people and culture are, we realise that the quality of our people and our culture, ideas around trust, around healthy conflict, the fact that we're willing to discuss and share and argue to come up with better solutions, the idea that our people like myself hold hands with me and are committed to work with me, the idea of accountability, that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something, and a focus on the quality of the people and the culture creates everything else. So we have a 3 juggling ball model, and then we have people and culture underpinning that and holding that underneath. Now here's the rub. I said earlier on, most businesses are a 648 or a 637, something like that. That is absolutely typical of nearly every business I go into. As I said, we've done this with 26,000 businesses. I've done it with the main boards of banks, the main board of well-known bakery companies, fast food takeaway. I've also done this work with small independent businesses, and that is almost always a score. And everyone always goes, oh, fantastic, I know what the answer is. I know what the answer is. The answer is if I did more marketing, because our operations is pretty good, and Rob said finance is an average of marketing and operations, and if we're currently a 6, 4, 8, if we could improve that 4 for marketing to a 7 or an 8, then finance would go up and everything would be fantastic, and wouldn't that be great, and it would be happy days. And there's a real flaw in that argument, and the flaw in that argument is if your financial model is broken, if you're only making a penny in the pound, you do more marketing, you get busier, you get more customers, you're still only making a penny in the pound. You're still being a busy fool. So what you actually need to be able to do first, before those marketing consultants and marketing gurus come rushing in trying to flog their service to you saying, we can get you more sales, first thing you've got to do is you've got to sort out your financial model. And your financial model is about when you sell something, how much profit, how much money do you make? So the number one thing I believe you should do if you want a quick fix, this is not a permanent fix, this is just a quick fix, is put up your prices. Because when you put up your prices, you make more money. As Dilbert says, if you want people to think you're intelligent, tell them that profit is the difference between how much you buy something for and how much you sell it for. That's what profit is, that's all it is. So put up your prices. You put up your prices, you no longer feel like a whore and a prostitute because you're now charging decent prices, and that's one. Secondly, your competition are kind of curious about what's doing. Thirdly, people assume you're doing something right. Fourthly, and this is the big thing, if you put up your prices, suddenly everything is much easier. The numbers are really simple. If you're buying for £7, selling for 10, buying for 7, selling for 10, £3 gross profit. If you put your prices up by 10%, you can afford to lose 25% of your sales volumes, and you still get the same amount of money in your back pocket. I repeat, it's really important. If you put your price 30% gross profit, you put your prices up by 10%, you can afford to lose 25% of your customers. You still have the same amount of money as you had in your back pocket. And the really great news is that the customers that leave you are the pond life and scum who cause all the problems and it's never good enough. The guys and gals who recognise the value you had to stay with you. So, fast solution, quick and dirty solution. 1, put up your prices. 2, decrease your fixed costs. Go to all your suppliers and say, is that the best price you can do? It's amazing how they'll fall over. 3, fix your underperformers. You have underperforming staff. Try and fix them. If you can't fix them, sack them. You have underperforming product. Try and fix it. If you can't fix it, sack it. You have underperforming suppliers. Try and fix them. If you can't fix them, sack it. You have underperforming, all kinds of underperforming stuff. Just try and fix it. If you can't fix it, sack them. Brackets, ideally, obviously, you do that legally. So those first 3, 1, put up your prices, 2, decrease your fixed costs, 3, fix the underperformers. That will sort your financial model. And then, of course, go off, sort the marketing. Now you can buy more marketing because now you're making more money when you sell something. And of course, sort the team. However, I would argue that this is a quick fix which will have a quick change to your business in terms of cash and profitability. But I think you should consider, rather than a quick revolutionary snap change, a far more slow and sustainable solution. And a slow and sustainable solution is about what? About 1, be really clear about strategy, the S word. Who are we? What are we doing? Where are we going to go? Why are we going to make it? Make those plans first. Be really clear about what the strategy and the goal and how you compete with other people and how you're different from other people and how you're going to win the business. Get the strategy sorted out. Only then look at the marketing, who you're selling to, who you're competing with, why they should buy from you, what makes you different from the rest. Then step back, consider teams and people. So by teams and people, I mean teams internally, but how you get on with people, how you communicate, and also kind of how you communicate with your suppliers and how you talk with your customers. Really excellent businesses, all the research says, are obsessed with these 3 things: strategy, marketing, and teams. And for those of you running independent, privately owned businesses, there's 2 more additional things that really great businesses are obsessed with. So they're obsessed with strategy, where the heck are we going? They're obsessed with marketing, how on earth are we going to sell this stuff? They're obsessed with teams, why don't we get on better? And they're also pretty obsessed with finance. How are we going to grow this business? Are we going to borrow money? Are we going to do this organically? Where's the money going to come from to pour into this business to actually grow it? And the final one is support, a recognition by the owner-manager. I can't do this on my own. I've got as far as I can. I need some help. I need help from my people, so I need support within the business. I need to have professional managers working with me, but possibly I also need support from outside, and whether that's a consultant or a coach or advisor, whatever it is. But just this recognition, I can't do it all on my own. That's all I can. So just let me summarise what we've discussed in this very, very brief session. The FiMO model is very much about where are we now. It is the starting point for virtually all consulting, for all coaching, for all self-help, self-soothing for your business. But we need to understand really clearly where we are now. And the FiMO model can be used as a 20-minute scoring exercise, quick. You can use it as an exercise to spend half a day with your team. How would we score our business as the scores between 0 and 10? Why have you scored 7? Why haven't you scored 8? Is it 7 and getting better? Is it 7 and getting worse? How would someone from outside, how would Sir Richard Branson score our business? What scores do we want to actually have? So if we want to be an 888, what would 8 for finance look like? What turnover, what profit, what cash would that actually be? So it's a brilliant tool, absolutely fantastic tool for getting you thinking about where are you now and what you want to be. And it's a really brilliant tool for getting people to discuss and share, because the tool is a piece of paper. It doesn't say anything, but it's the conversation that the score sheet creates for you. So I've introduced the FiMO piece, and then underneath that, people and culture. You mustn't think that a business isn't to do with people and culture. One thing I've learned over the last few years is people and culture, people and culture, people and culture underpins everything. You can go for the quick and dirty solution, which is just put your prices up, screw your suppliers' feet to the ground, fix the underperformers, make stuff happen. But actually, I suspect that if you've got problems or issues in the business, the problems and issues are actually deeper and can't respond from a quick fix. That you actually need to step back and really reflect on what's going on and what you want to happen. I actually believe that revolutionary change may be very, very exciting, but it doesn't always give you the lasting, sustainable solution that you want. So I'm saying go for a more slow and sustainable solution. Step back and build the business by design, understanding what you want out of the business for your lifestyle, and therefore understanding what you want the business to stand for and what you want the business to do, and in effect make your mistakes on paper. Thank you very much for listening. I have one more thing I'd like to add, and that really is that this is not about theoretical claptrap. This is actually about you taking action. I think listen to what happens on all these videos, but you need to take action. You need to take hold, grasp these tools and techniques, and you need to apply these to your business, and you need to decide what you're going to do as a result of that. My name's Robert Craven. You can find me in the members directory. I'd be delighted to talk to you, delighted to discuss how these tools and techniques can help you in your business. Thank you very much.